YouTube. This is Florida Fish 100. I'm sitting in front of my 175 gallon, in this case, African cichlid tank. This is the project tank that I did about a dozen or so videos showing you how I progressed this tank from basically when I found it to now, basically with 175 gallons of water in it. Had a couple of setbacks along the way, but I stuck with it, and here it is. I had two small leaks that I had to address over the last month or two, but I got that all corrected, and the fish are enjoying it, and I'm enjoying having them in here. Right now I've got probably maybe a couple of dozen fish in here, a few from Tanganyika, but mostly from Lake Victoria. I like Lake Victorian cichlids as well as Malawi cichlids. The tank next door is a 150 gallon Malawi tank. And they are what they are, rather aggressive sort of fish. But the Victorians are a little smaller, different sort of color patterns and so forth. Unlike Malawi, these Victorians have only had about 10,000 years to transform or evolve. Malawi, probably probably 2 or 3 million years in Lake Malawi, as the lake rose and dropped in level, which added to its diversity. Lake Victoria is different in that 10,000 years ago it was a dry hole. So when the ice caps melted, it filled up with water. Today it's the second largest freshwater body on the planet, and has some diversity of life. However, due to the British dropping in the Nile perch in the early 60s to create a fishing industry, many of these cichlids are endangered or don't exist anymore. So the Victorian cichlids are kind of near and dear to my heart. So when I got the tank, I wanted to dedicate this one to Victorians. So anytime I can find a little Victorian, I don't care what it is, how big it is, or whatever, I'll pop him in the tank, and hopefully one day I'll have 100 or so Victorians in here. That's the goal. The tank itself, I've got some finishes on the tank. I've got a blue background on the tank that I got from Hobby Lobby. I would not suggest painting tanks, because just when you get accustomed to black, you want blue or blue-green or whatever. So I think you want to be flexible with your backgrounds, would be my advice. I did put some green banding up on the top to sort of hide the water line. This is a rimless tank, of course. I had to do that because I needed to add structural strength to the frame, and the only way I could do that was with a lateral brace and a Euro brace, which there's some good videos on YouTube about how to do a Euro brace. Really not that difficult. I think the key is just finding the right glass provider. Make sure that he bevels your glass along the edges and it's polished. And it can be very expensive. This particular piece of glass is 3/8 inch, beveled. It's probably 3.5 to 4 inches wide. So it depends. There's all sorts of calculators online that you can use to determine how wide and how long it needs to be. I didn't bother with all that. I basically put 3.5 inch Euro brace glass on here, and I did cross braces, so this thing's not going anywhere. You do have the susceptibility of a small leak from your caulking inside the tank with the silicone, so just be aware of that can be problematic from time to time. I've had to do it a couple of times on this tank, but I think I'm through the woods with it, and hopefully it's settled and it's not going to move anymore, which would cause a tear in the silicone. Anyway, this particular tank is 6 feet long, 18 inches wide, and probably about 31.5 inches deep or high. It was undoubtedly a kind of a show tank, a display tank. It had salt water in it at one time. Had a real hard time getting saltwater stains, hard water stains off the back of the glass, and you can still see them, but I did the best I could do with them. But it turned out to be a nice tank, nice front glass. So anyway, love the tank. It's got dual 200-watt heaters in it. To heat a tank like this, you need that at least. Got a UV sterilizer on it and some water movers, and I've got 400 gallons of filtration on the tank. I've got a submersible and a couple of canisters, which are operating very quietly. This tank is in my conference room. As you can see, I have a seascape sort of spin on this tank. Even though I've got freshwater fish in it, it's sort of a different sort of look. It's a natural scape. It obviously would not exist in the wild like this, so if you're looking for that sort of environment, check out my 150-gallon tank. It's got a huge stump in it, and of course, you normally don't see that in an African cichlid tank either. So in that sense, I guess I'm more of I'm not a traditionalist. It's a natural scape, but it's not what you would normally see in Lake Victoria. So for those of you that are pure naturalists, this is probably hard for you to watch. But anyway, I would advise you to put together what you like. And in my particular case, it's this. So some people do the Holy Rock. It's kind of expensive. It's very expensive, and it's very heavy. This is a lot lighter. It was available. I got it from Craigslist. In fact, I got a lot of things from Craigslist, but also got some things that were new, and so I just love the tank. It's my largest tank at 175 gallons. I appreciate you checking it out, and on the next video I'll talk about the fish. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, comment if you wish. Florida Fish 100, signing off.